Hello everyone and welcome to 14th episode of Personal Development Training Series. My name is Mohammad Reza Fathi and I'm a life coach. What we do in life echoes in eternity. I guarantee you that your life is going to be divided to before and after Personal Development Training Series. This episode is about mental patterns. Most of us believe that the decisions we make are rational and intentional. We think we sit down, analyze the options, weigh the pros and cons, and choose the best. But if we look a little closer, but if we look a little closer, we'll notice that many of our choices are guided by older mental patterns that have been running in the background for years. These patterns are like software installed in our minds. Before we consciously think something through, they start interpreting what's happening. And depending on where you grew up and what kind of environment shaped you, certain patterns become stronger than others. In Western countries, the US, Canada, Europe, and Australia, the patterns may look different on the surface, but they are just as powerful. Let's walk through some of the most common and famous ones. Number one, it's probably gonna get worse. Imagine some employee that finally decides to leave their corporate job and launch their own business. The first few months go well. They're getting promoted, they're getting clients, revenues is stable, nothing is collapsing. And yet, every night before they sleep, before they go to bed, their mind is like running scenarios. What if the recession hits again? What if the interest rates spike again? What if a new competitor wipes them out? What if the economy slows down the next quarter? Nothing bad has actually happened yet, but mentally, he's already bracing for impact. Because of that, he hesitates to expand. He avoids hiring help. He delays investing in marketing. Instead of focusing on growth, he focuses on survival. Over time, the business plateaus, and even when things are going well, he rarely feels relaxed and enjoyed. Because of that, he hesitates to expand. He avoids hiring help, he delays investing in marketing. Instead of focusing on growth, he focuses on survival. Over time, the business plateaus, and even when things are going well, they refuse to feel relaxed and enjoyed. When this mindset becomes collective, especially after financial crisis, pandemics, or economical instability, societies become cautious. Innovations slow down. People protect what they have instead of building something new. Thought pattern number two, the system decides, not me. Think about Emma. She's talented, skilled, and experienced. A prestigious company posts a job opening that fits her background perfectly. Her friends even encourage her to apply, but she shrugs and says they already know who they're gonna hire. These postings are just formalities, so she never applies. The rejection hasn't happened yet. She rejected herself. Over time, this pattern weakens personal agency. If you believe the system controls everything, corporate policies, hiring, decisions, promotions, you stop taking action. You become observant instead of proactive. Individually, this leads to stagnation. Socially, it leads to widespread cynicism. Conversation revolves around what's broken, but fewer people step toward to test their own influence and power and ambition. Pattern number three, image matters more than reality. Consider a couple who've been struggling in their marriage for years. They're emotionally distant, arguments are frequent, they've discussed separation more than once. But every time the conversation gets serious, a different type of fear shows up. What will our friends think? What will our families say? How will this look on social media? What about the kids' school community? So they stay. On the outside, everything looks stable. On the inside, both partners feel increasingly disconnected. Their children grew up observing a relationship that feels tense but never openly addressed. When image becomes more important than truth, problems get managed rather than resolved. And in societies that emphasize personal branding and social perception, this pattern quietly intensifies. Next pattern, all or nothing. Sophia has been thinking about launching a podcast. She's researched equipment, drafted outlines, planned episodes, but she keeps telling herself it's not polished enough yet. Meanwhile, someone else starts with basic equipment and imperfect delivery and improves over time. The all or nothing pattern makes starting feel risky unless the outcome is guaranteed to be impressive. Mistakes feel like identity threats instead of learning steps. Individually, this leads to chronic procrastination. Socially, it reduces experimentation. People wait until they feel fully ready, and many ideas never leave the planning stage. This is why most people die with ideas, not memories. Next pattern, just endure, it'll get better. It sounds like positivity. Imagine Imagine people who work in a job that drains them. The workload is heavy, the culture feels misaligned, and they feel exhausted every time. But they keep telling themselves, it's just this quarter. Then it becomes, it's just this year. Then once I pay off the mortgage, once I pay off that debt, that the student loan of my kids, once the kids are older, and they go on and on and on. Endurance slowly turns into obedience. From the outside, it looks responsible. From the inside, motivation erodes. Over time, they may forget what energized them in the first place. When large groups adopt this mindset, unhealthy workplace cultures persist longer. People cope rather than confront. They survive rather than redesign. Next pattern, connections matter more than merit. Imagine someone preparing extensively for a promotion. They've exceeded targets, taken extra training, delivered results. Then they find out the role went to someone with stronger internal relationships rather than you that prepared the most. Even in countries that value strength and skill, perceived favoritism can deeply affect motivation. The issue isn't only the missed opportunity, it's the subtle message that effort may be not enough. When this pattern becomes common, trust declines. People disengage emotionally. They may stay physically present but mentally withdraw. At the societal level, belief in fairness is foundational. When that belief weakens, long term commitment weakens too. And the next pattern, it's too late. We have so many women who always wanted to change careers and study something in college or university. Now that they approach 40, 45, 35, these programs are available financially and logistically. But one thought blocks them. Is my age suitable? Am I young enough? Isn't it too late? They scroll through LinkedIn and see younger graduates entering this field. They compare timelines. They assume there is an invisible deadline that they have missed. No one has told them that they can't, but internally, they close the door. Over time, this creates quiet regret, not dramatic one, just a subtle sense of a path not taken. When many people believe reinvention has an expiration date, societies lose late bloomers, people whose best work might have started later in their lives. Next pattern, everyone has to like me. Jason is known as the reliable one. At work, he never says no to anything. In social settings, he avoids disagreements. In family discussions, he softens his opinions. He wants to be seen as cooperative, supportive, and easy to work with. In the short term, he's appreciated, but in the long run, he's exhausted. Resentment builds quietly because his own needs stay unspoken. Eventually, It shows up as withdrawal, hate, or at least emotional distance. In cultures that value agreeableness and likability, this pattern can become widespread. On the surface, everything looks fine and harmonious. Underneath, many conversations are kept quiet and people actually hate each other. Closing thoughts. None of these mental patterns are inherently wrong. Most of them developed as adaptive responses to economic uncertainty, competitive systems, and social expectations. The challenge is not that these patterns exist. The challenge is that they often operate automatically. And when that happens, the life we build can end up being shaped more by inherited mental defaults rather than our own conscious choice. Seeing these patterns does not immediately change them, but it does something important. It makes the invisible visible. And once you can see the map, you at least understand the roads you've been taking and why they keep leading you to the same places. What we do in life echoes in eternity.